In New York, elected officials who are convicted felons enjoy the full benefit of due process after denying it to citizens. For example, Governor Cuomo's top two political amigos, as he called them, one Democrat and one Republican, are now convicted felons under federal corruption law. 1 year after conviction and sentencing, both are still not in prison, pending their appeals. These convicted political felons enjoy their constitutional right of due process after they denied it to citizens. Governor Cuomo and former Republican Senator Dean Skelos and former Democrat Assembly Leader Sheldon Silver passed a law that denies due process to an entire class of citizens, firearms owners. These three led passage of the badly named SAFE Act, the Secure Ammunition and Firearms Enforcement Act. Touted as a gun control bill, it goes far beyond the Second Amendment. It was passed overnight with no hearings, no public participation, no input from law enforcement or medical experts. Constitutional law professor James Jacobs of New York University writes, "The individual who is reported under the SAFE Act is not entitled to any due process or even notice before being stripped of his rights. The result is confiscation of private property, firearms, and suspension of the right to own any firearm." How could government deny due process to an entire group of citizens? Rewrite the state mental health law to use a new definition of mental health as a means of social control. Provision 946 of the SAFE Act is now part of New York State's amended mental health law. We're now seeing more examples of hospital staff, deliberately or inadvertently, falsely identifying a patient's hospital admission as involuntary. This immediately triggers a report to ISARS, the Integrated SAFE Act Reporting System, followed by confiscation of a pistol permit and firearms. Listen to a citizen whose rights were violated by the SAFE Act.
In August of 2015, the New York State Police came to my home with a court order permanently suspending my pistol license and my right to own any firearm. Words cannot express the emotional trauma of that experience. My personal property had been confiscated. There was no notification, no search warrant, no hearing, and no due process of law.
We the people are entitled to the same due process enjoyed by political elites and convicted felons. No one is above the law, supposedly. But we see more examples of one law for government elites and a different law for we the people. In New York State, we live with a government that passes a law in the middle of the night that violates the principles of good government and denies due process to citizens under its authoritarian rule. The anti-rights crowd is after more than the Second Amendment. In many states, they are attacking free speech, due process, and other civil liberties. If we the people want to keep our rights, it's time to stand up. Contact your state legislatures and tell them. To restore due process for citizens, repeal the SAFE Act. Send them the link to this video and ask them to post and share it with their constituents. Spread the word. Please post and share this video with as many friends, groups, and websites as possible. Defend freedom. Find this and other videos here.